what thoughts are coming through your head? Yes, what thoughts are coming through your head that are keeping you from going to sleep? You don't know what your place in this world is. Okay. What is the meaning of this world? Alright. These are very simple answers, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you great answers that are going to help you go to bed very easily. Very easily. Now, the answer to your first question, what do you mean? What is your place in this world? Your place in the world is nothing. You are a being, you are existing, you are alive, but you are nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. You are nothing. You mean nothing. You are nothing. You have no purpose. There is no purpose to life. There is no purpose to anything except for the things that we create ourselves. This pipe, it was fabricated. It is meant, it has a use. It is used to be smoked with. You put things in it. You light it on fire, and then you smoke it. That is its only function. It serves a function. That is the purpose of it. We know the purpose of it. We utilize it for that reason. You'll never see a pipe being used for any other reason except for maybe other reasons, but that is the intention of a pipe. It is there to serve a function. Let me see. This clock, for example. We use this clock to measure our days. We use it to tell us what time we go to work, what time we go to bed, what time we go to school, what time do we do anything, what time do we eat lunch, dinner, breakfast, what time do we go to see our friends, what time do we try and cancel to not see our friends. It's really such a useful device that we have several functions for, but in all essence it boils down to one function, and that is the function of telling us when to do something. Now, this little ring here, it is purposefully designed to make us remember exactly what time, if you were to put it on and where it would function. Once this ringer goes back and forth and strikes the bells, it will tell us exactly when we should be doing what we should be doing in case we forget by not looking at the clock. So, for example, if it were to hit let's say 6 o'clock. But what is a 6 o'clock? What is a 6? What is an o'clock? What is a clock? What is an O? What is the O there for? Sure, people would say, oh, all of those words have their own purposes, including the o'clock. But frankly, what is the purpose behind the purpose of those words? You must think beyond what is there. Back to the example of the clock. Let's say it's 6 o'clock and this rings, or rather, let's say it's 6 o'clock. You have plans at 6 o'clock, so you end up leaving to go to those plans. But what if you don't leave? What if you forget about the plans? What if you decide that you are taking a nap? Or what if you say that you are somewhere else and you don't look at the clock? Then this is designed to remind you to look at the clock, to tell you exactly what you should be doing at this time. It is all purposefully designed to tell you what to do. Now I ask you, what is the function of a human being? If everything has a purpose to it, everything we design has a purpose to it, then what is the function of a human being? No one knows. That is the greatest question. Now, we've designed these things, we've created them, and they have function, they have purpose. Why would we design something that has no purpose? There is no purpose to designing something without purpose. It has to have a purpose to serve our needs. That is the reason we create things. We create art to bask in its beauty, to allow us to feel. We create technology to facilitate our lives. We create houses, we build houses rather, to keep us safe from the weather outside and to have our own little property viewable from other people's perspectives, to mark our territory, basically, to keep us safe from external forces outside of our home. But what were we created for? Nothing. We don't have a function. If we had a function, we'd serve that function, but none of us serve a function. We're all just trying to find out who we are and what purpose we serve and what our best skills are, but everyone has different skills. Everyone has different skills. Everyone is designed for different things. There are some people who are evil, they do evil things. There are some people that are good and do good things. But what is evil and what is good? What measurements are we using? The measurement we typically use is how much harm do you cause another person. But then again, there are other people who measure these sort of good, bad, evil sort of measurements upon immorality. And frankly, there are certain immorality that aren't doing anything bad to other people. They're just living their own lives, yet people consider them to be evil because of whatever standards they are holding themselves. So, in essence, what exactly is good and evil? By what standards do we measure that? Frankly, there is no measurement. Frankly, those are arbitrary standards that we create ourselves, and a lot of it is very arbitrary. So if there is no function for us, if there is no common law, no exact thing that we were created for, that means we were not designed to fulfill any role. Thus, we don't have a designer. There is no creator. And you can piece the rest together. So there is no purpose to life. We are here, we are living. How we got here, no one knows yet. But we are here, we are living, and we are designed to live, to make the best of our time here. That is all. If we can help others live to the best of their device, to the best of their ability, or to the best of their freedom, because frankly, we have so much freedom. We can do whatever we want to do. People say there's limitations, but I call that bad faith. By bad faith, I don't mean that there is one true religion or there is not another true religion. As I already said, the purpose for religion is quite limiting. So, what I mean by bad faith is that you accept things, you accept tradition without really thinking about it. You accept certain facts about your life without really considering the fact that those things don't necessarily need to be accepted. For example, you don't want to work at a certain job, but yet you continue working there simply because you feel like you are financially obligated to work there, or you stay with your spouse that you no longer love for the fact that you are relying upon them financially. Or, for example, you don't take the vacation you'd like to take because you cannot financially support it. You can't fit it into your budget. But what are these limitations? They're so arbitrary, are they not? It's all a matter of boiling it down to money, and you simply saying you cannot do one thing because of another thing. That can apply to things that don't involve money as well, such as you can't lie because of this tradition. You can't associate yourself with other people that conflict with the tradition of your family if not associating with those sort of people. You can't marry a certain type of person because of tradition. You can't do certain things because it's never been done before, because it's just, no, you shouldn't do certain things like that. You can't stand on a chair during class and receive lessons that way because that's not how it's done, so you shouldn't do that. But yet, what is the reason for it not to be accepted? You must reason what the reason behind certain things you can't do are. You can't walk around and at your leisure while other person talks. If someone bores you, you can't just walk away. Why can't you walk away? They're boring me. I'd like to walk away and do something more substantial with my time, or at the very least relieve myself from this droll and dull person. So you must always consider the reason behind the reason as to what you're doing certain things. That is, otherwise you have bad faith. But as I was going on about money, considering how I'm so passionate about the limitation of life and how people are so passive when it comes to their limitations concerning money. When it comes to money, I believe is the root of all evil. I mean, people say the love of money is the root of all evil, but I believe that money is the root of all evil. You see, capitalism limits the man. I myself am a fan of Marxism. I visited Che Guevara, and Fidel Castro and everyone over there. So I do believe that capitalism limits the man. And without capitalism, it would be completely fine to live our lives as we would like to live it. I do apologize. But yes, I do believe that if we were to adopt a more Marxist ideology into our day-to-day lives, we wouldn't be so tightly confined by capitalism. We would be able to live our lives as we please and not be so limited. But freedom is within everyone's grasp. Everyone just chooses to forego it because, frankly, the freedom of being able to do whatever you want and not having anything prefixed and having no rules is just a burden too hard for anyone to deal with. They'd rather stay within their gilded cage where they would feel more comfortable, considering the world to be much smaller than it really is, the universe to be much more measurable than it actually is. And with that, they'd feel more important because they feel like a bigger player within a smaller field. But in reality, the field is so big, they might as well just be nothing, because that is what everyone is. They are nothing. But nonetheless, am I making your existential crisis feel a little better? I hope I am. Shame. Let me think if I can make you feel a little better with a different brand of philosophy. Let me think. Well, there is the further idea of nothingness. The further idea of nothingness continues on with the fact that when you really start to think about the absurdity of life, and everything that comes along with it, you start to recognize how silly everything is. For example, if you start to look at a chair for too long, you recognize, what is a chair? Why do you sit upon it? Why was it made that way? Why am I made that way? Why do I sit that way? How did we even get here? And frankly, that's the question that always results in the end, is how did everything get here? But what is a chair? Something you sit upon. What is sitting? It's when you recline your bottom. What is reclining a bottom? Why would you recline your bottom when you are tired? And because that is something that people usually do. Why do people usually do it? Because that's what feels good afterwards, after a stressful day. Well, why are you having stressful days? What is stress? Stress is tension. Why are you having tension from stressful days? Well, what is stress? It's when you feel tension and you go into cyclical arguments or boil it down to, how do we get here? And then you have to recognize the fact that that everything in the world, everything, this pipe, my glasses, my eye, everything is fake. We created the rules, we created the standard. Trees are not trees. Why do we call them trees? What are trees? Are they not the pimples of earth? No, the volcanoes are pimples of earth. But yet we call them volcanoes, and they wipe us out. If we are on the face of the earth, and it still has pimples that are exploding, does that not mean that the earth is a teenager? And if this is a teenager, then what is it going to look like as an adult? Or will it be swallowed by the sun by the time it becomes an adult? What is anything? Am I making your existential crisis feel a little better? Yes? Okay, excellent. That is so great to hear. I am Jean-Paul Sartre, so I obviously make people feel better about themselves by reminding them of how nothingness everything is, and how nothing everything they are. Their parents mean nothing, their grandparents mean nothing, everyone means nothing. No one on this earth makes an importance, even if they did something incredible like Alexander the Great, Cleopatra, anyone, or even in modern times, anyone who achieves a position of greatness that will eventually be forgotten down the line. For example, the president, whoever is the current president, will probably not be remembered in the next 10 presidents to come along, or even just the next 2 or 3 presidents to come along. Anyone who achieves a certain greatness means nothing. Positions of greatness means nothing. For if the earth was to be obliterated, what would we have left? I mean, sure, we sent out a probe a little later on of across the universe and certain songs on it representing the type of culture we have in case any sort of foreign life would receive it. But frankly, that would be the only way for them to know. Otherwise, how would they know? We mean nothing. Anyways, I'm glad I made your existential crisis feel better. That's my goal. is just to induce existential crises and then make people feel better. Yes.